Welcome to Arirang News Special. I'm Yoon Jung-min. We continue our coverage of Busan's bid for the World Expo 2030. Over in Paris, 3 candidate cities, Busan of South Korea, Italy's Rome, and Riyadh of Saudi Arabia, will be making their 5th and final presentations in just a moment for their Expo bid at the 173rd General Assembly of the Bureau International de Expositions. Until the very final moment, Team Korea's efforts don't stop. And it's now time for Busan's final pitch, which we bring you live. Joining me in the studio is Mr. An Jun-sung, attorney at law. Mr. An, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
So first of all, the 3 candidates, Busan, Rome, and Riyadh, will be making their final appeals. It's their very last chance. How significant is this 5th and final presentation?
Well, yes, this is the final chance. The 5th time we're doing the final presentation, so it's very important. It's the last chance to appeal the member of BIE, and then it's prior to our actual voting tonight. And as we should have sending the very clear message, like an impact with the impact message, impact statement, and saying what they want to do and what they should do if they selected. And also they come up with a very specific plan. I mean, like perhaps the gift package, saying then if we selected by the next host for the BIA Expo, and what we can do for you, right? I think that's it's better, more specific to sending very specific message to the voters, right? The members, right? Basically.
And South Korea is pushing Busan as the right choice for the 2030 World Expo. What makes the city competitive compared to the other two?
Yeah, well, actually, the Busan has been very popular as the venue for international events such as the Busan International Film Festival, and also Busan is a very attractive place for the tourism. Also, is famous in one of the Asian port. Also, one of the largest industrial port in Asia, and so as international hub for the global supply chain. So there's many international global transaction already happening in Busan or through the Busan. So I think it's a great opportunity for the global businessmen, right, come to the Busan and more enjoy the sightseeing or attractions. Also that some come across to some new business opportunity. I think that's a great place to enjoy and work.
And enjoy and work. It's a great place to do that.
Work and enjoy.
Work and enjoy, yeah. That's right. And what will be Busan's strategies?
Well, I think Busan will try to focus on that thing about the capacity and experience, right? They have the global experience, exhibition events just like Busan Film International Busan Film Festival, something like that, and they've been to a lot of popular sites also. So many event experience, and they know what to do. Also, many facilities, as with the catchphrase, the Busan is ready, as we said, and many infrastructure is already there. So basically, so it's not much investment. Well, compared to Riyadh, they're building a new city right on the desert. That's a really big mega project. But in the Busan case, it's not much that critical infrastructure investment is not necessary. We'll focus on more software side on how they develop on the business side. I think also that try to create more business opportunity because the BIE Expo is basically business exposition, right? So basically, try to make more soft power issues. I think that might be the great challenge for Busan.
And Mr. An, I know it's not really easy to predict, but how do you feel about chances for Busan?
Well, it's a very difficult question, right? Because of the voting system, BIE voting system. One of the things is that you have to look at the characteristics about the BIE voting. First is the one country, one vote. We call fair voting basically. So each country has cast one vote. So it's not matter with how big or large or the economic size or the industry, So it's like Korea or Japan or Singapore, any country can have one vote. So it's very important about the bilateral negotiation, how you get, in order to get the endorsement, we need to get bilaterally. That means that, it's one by one, basically quid pro quo, right? So many negotiation bilaterally try to get what we wanted. That means that you have to do, there's no free lunch in international politics. So they have to do a lot of works and to work with many countries try to get endorsements. That's the really big issue.
And what are the appealing features of Riyadh and Rome? What will their strategies be?
Yeah, actually, it's an interesting point. I looked it up, actually, BIE official website, and they always focus on, I just call it 3 T's, right? So Korea they're using the T is a T for the humanity, so based on using the utilize the technology, 21st century technology for the, humanity issues, right? And then the VR is more like a tomorrow, but it's not the better tomorrow, like a movie, right? It's that the different tomorrow. I was very impressed by the way they're using the term different tomorrow. But I guess they're kind of, in a way, indirectly admitting that there are some social issues, I see that many issues, social issues, right? And societal issues. So they try to say, well, we're not the perfect at this moment, but after, Expo will be different, right? That's kind of things they try to send you a message, I think. And the Rome is also, it's like they focus on togetherness. I think that their strategies like focus on urban development and how they best utilize their existing technology. Also, the for example, like solar technology, how they implemented new, no carbon industry such as that. So I think it's more like how to best utilize their existing infrastructure. I think that's the one, they're looking at.
And Mr. An, let's talk more about Busan's bid. Last time, President Yoon Suk-yeol, singers Psy and Karina from Expo, they appeared as presenters. This time, we expect Prime Minister Han Duck-soo and former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and other figures to represent South Korea and speak for Busan. What do we expect to hear during Team Korea's 20-minute-long presentation?
Well, it's kind of a confidential, right? They're supposed to not tell, right? So, I have to only, what I can do, I can expect it. But I watched the fourth presentation before the, the program. So I see that there's a presentation is kind of heavily focused on the K culture, something, Psy and Aespa, but I think that since it's a BIE exhibition, is the really business-oriented event. So I think that I kind of thinking that it might be better to put more focus on business aspect and what kind of the business opportunity they can have it in Busan, right? What kind of thing they do. Well, it's great to have it, work and enjoy, but work is first, right? So we have to come up with then what kind of thing they can come up with some big project, something, And the way I see that, I watched the Saudi Arabia's promotional video, and basically what my impression was that, well, we're not perfect, but we'll be better, and you can invest us, basically, because we were building a new mega city under the desert, so you can come here and work together. We pay you oil money, right, basically, right?
Oil money. And what's the voting process after the presentation then?
Yeah, there's the. Looking here, we talk about one country, one vote, right? And then depends on how many candidates they have, 2 different rules. There's more like a majority rule apply. First one, if there are more than 2 candidates for the host, right? And what they do is they apply super majority, means that any candidate should have more than 2/3, which is about 67% of the quorum, right? 67%. So we're assuming that we have about 182, right, total. And I guess some country maybe not show up, so some other issues. So it depends on how many countries actually vote, participating. And then we'll have, looking at 2/3, maybe about I think it's 122, right, something. So that any country get it, or they will be selected. But if no country candidate get a 2/3 supermajority, that means that the country with the least vote will be eliminated. We're hoping that will be Italy, but we'll see what happens. So we eliminate it, and then 2 standing candidates will have another vote, and any country had a simple majority. It means that 51% will be selected for the next host.
And I want to ask you, what's key to the bidding? How can we secure more swing votes, should I say?
It's a very tough question because that depends on is it first round or second round, right? First round was not easy for Korea because Korea is really joined the competition late, right? Last minute. So it's kind of a very, it's a comparative disadvantage because we joined quite late. So we'll have to see what can do. And plus, it's geopolitical issues, right? Because since the BIE, just like IOC, is more like a European gentlemen's club, so it's more like they try to maximize that. Well, I shouldn't say anti-European, more like pro and con of the European country, doing whatever they monopolizing their all international opportunity, global opportunities. So maybe perhaps we might get some support from Asian countries and some the African countries, but European side wouldn't easy because since the formation of EU. There's kind of one team, right? So it's very difficult, except the UK, right? So, but that still we have to see. And the second round might be interesting. It depends on which country survive, right? And then it depends on how many cast for you have it. And I wonder is that all countries will vote it? Because if it really fierce competition between the candidate. For example, according to the news, that Saudi Arabia become very concerned about losing some votes. So they according to the press, they try to contact their home country, sending very high level diplomat, right, to participate in voting rather than representative there. Right. So but I think that's an interesting point because when I read it between the lines, because that means that maybe some country have not decided which country they vote for, right? So it means that there's still possibility there might be how many swimming pool, which country will get the more, how many swimming pool, countries, each country get it. That might be a factor. And second round depends on which country survive, and there's really different geopolitical, the game, right?
Geopolitical games. And every vote matters, but is there any particular voting power we should be looking out for?
Well, interesting question because if you look at a big picture, I was wondering because it's not very covered often in the Korean media, but we have to ask that where is the Biden vote for, right? Right? And where is the Kishida vote for, right? Well, looking at the Biden, right? Well, U.S. government officially endorsed Italy, not Korea, and they have not changed their position. So I wonder how they will vote it, and if Italy eliminated, would they vote for us? Well, that was the question. Also, in terms of Prime Minister Kishida, right? They changed last minute. They initially endorsed the Riyadh, right? And they changed last minute. Well, that's even through the Yomiuri, right? It's like official, not official, unofficial government press, right? So, but the problem is that since it's a secret ballot system, it's not about the trust issue, but nobody knows which one is what. So we have to see actually to open up the cover, the ballot, right? How many votes we have it, and we'll say. So we have to see count backward how many countries we get it. That's the really question that happens.
We'll see how it plays out. And Mr. An, South Korea has been firing on all cylinders. The government and the business circles alike for a successful bid. President Yoon Suk-yeol has met over 500 figures from 90 countries on the sidelines of international events to ask for support for Busan. Also, diplomatic efforts have been extended involving business moguls like Samsung Group Chairman Choi Tae-won and Samsung Group leader Lee Jae-young. How do you assess these efforts and what's their strategy?
Very interesting point. I looked it up. I Googled up the issues about the 2030 Expo hosting country. I looked it up. It's very interesting that I found many actually some YouTube short, and the YouTube content created by like Samsung and SK. Also, wow. Because if you look it up and the Rome Italian side, I mean, they don't have any private company doing that kind of promotion side, right? So it's kind of, well, bright side, look at the bright side. It's like, everybody tries to get one team. I think that's great support from the corporate side, private side. But downside is that I'm a little bit concerned about, what happened. What if this something didn't work out? And then is there any backlash for the Korean companies because that think about the our competitor, one of the contender is that Saudi Arabia, which was the king rule, right? Still, and the prince is basically live there in Paris for a long time. Or actually, they actually moved to Paris, right? And they're having champagne every night and then showing up all the cash money everywhere. So, and then what if there's something bad thing happened to Saudi, and I just very concerned. Oh, even the bright and wrong side. What if they're selected? Would they let Korean company invest, participate in their construction of their mega city in the desert? Or what if they're not selected? Wouldn't there any some backlash from the Saudian? kingdom, right, of the Korean company. That's my personal concern. So perhaps that's why maybe the Italian companies not really going on front because they really concerned about the backlash and then some political implication,
And Mr. An, President Yoon and government officials have kept their diplomatic efforts a secret to secure more votes. What's the story behind that?
Well, actually, we talked already, but it's one of the things that this is a secret value system. So each one country, one vote. So every single vote is important. So I guess that Saudi Arabian government was kind of concerned that they're possibly losing some of the vote they believe they get it endorsed from some countries, right? So I guess they're double checking system, right?
Oh, Mr. An, I'm sorry to cut you off. It looks like the presenters are just about to speak. Let's listen.
Dear BI delegates, it is great to see you again. I'm Park Hyung-jun, Mayor of Busan. As you just saw, our journey to the World Expo began in 2014, and 1.4 million signatures endorsed our bid in 2016. Today, it has become the wish of all 50 million Koreans. Now, after 10 long years, our mascot, Boogie, stands here in Paris before you to deliver that wish. I'm also joined by Boogie's friend, young people from around the world who now call Busan home. They are here to share what makes our city so special and invite you to visit. Are you ready?
Yes! Busan is a beautiful place where clear skies shine over the sea and mountain.
Busan is unique all year round with K-pop concerts, international film festivals, and fireworks.
In Busan, we can enjoy late-night beach or shopping. It's safe.
Busan is full of amazing surprises, rich culture, and diverse experiences.
Lastly, Busan is a city of cutting-edge technology with a new dream for tomorrow.
Join us in 2030 to be part of our new dream. Our seagull does not wish to fly alone. Boogie wants to soar freely with all of you. Come to Busan, a city where people, nature, culture, and technology coexist in harmony. Busan is ready! Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Na Seung-yeon, Honorary Ambassador for World Expo 2030 Busan. Let me start by sharing a story about a boy named Park Ji-woo. Ji-woo's greatest passion was playing the violin, but everything changed when he went to the 93 Daejeon Expo and met an astronaut. The encounter sparked a new ambition in him, to explore space. Ji-woo continues to pursue that dream today, working at the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center and helping to expand frontiers for humanity. Expos can change the dreams of a child, shape the vision for an entire generation, even impact the future of humanity. And Korea wants to host its first World Expo to help build dreams for a brighter tomorrow, a greener planet, and a stronger global community. To that end, we propose an expo with a focus on sustainable living with nature, technology for humanity, and platform for caring and sharing. World Expo 2030 Busan is taking concrete steps to realize this vision, and in fact, efforts are already underway. Today, our speakers will present Korea's commitments. To begin, here's Mr. Choi Tae-won, co-chair of the bid committee.
Dear delegates, first let me thank the BIE for the excellent work achieved over 100 years. Representing Korea's private sector, I'm dedicated to one key goal: making the Expo that benefits you and your society. The world faces numerous challenges: the climate change, digital divide, food shortage, and pandemics. These issues are larger than any one of us, transcending borders and generations. So we need a solution that addresses these challenges faced by different people, countries, and regions. Let me introduce a solution platform, the right in your pocket, thewave.net. On your behalf, we made actually online expo with 133 country pavilions, with over 400 challenges from your society and your neighbors. It is only 4 months old, but many companies and global citizens have volunteered with great ideas. By 2030, I'm sure we will deliver the most customized solutions to each of you. For nations with the grid issues, off-grid solar energy is a solution. For those with the water problems, desalination technology can be beneficial. In society with the digital gaps, Innovation Center adopting artificial intelligence is the answer. And for countries with the weak telecom networks, then next generation network based on the clean energy is the game changer. There is no one-size-fits-all, but that's why, and we will work with you to tackle your issues. Our journey will not end in 2030. We will pass this solution platform to the next host country. The legacy should continue. Ladies and gentlemen, Busan Expo is your expo. So consider what you wanted to see for your children's future. I hope what you dream is a world of diversity, liberty, innovation, and creativity. Your only choice, and your number one choice, Busan, Korea. Thank you.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, distinguished delegates. During his speech at the UN General Assembly this September, President of Korea Yoon Suk-yeol promised World Expo 2030 Busan would be an expo of solidarity, through which the world's citizens can overcome crises and challenges together. We are also demonstrating our commitments with the Global Cooperation Project, the Busan Initiative. Through it, we provide tailored support for countries tackling urgent crises and contributing to fundamental solutions. For example, we work with 10 African nations on the K-Rice Belt project to combat food shortage. We are also undertaking the K-Ocean Economy Alliance with 17 Pacific Island nations in response to rising sea levels. Also, to effect lasting change through education, Korea runs many training programs around the world. Our efforts are already in action, and they will continue even after the Expo is over. The strength of our commitments is reflected in the ODA budget. At last year's General Assembly, I pledged that we would double our ODA by 2030. In fact, Korea has increased next year's budget by 43%, allowing us to achieve this goal ahead of schedule. And we will extend full support so that you can enjoy the culmination of our efforts at Expo 2030 Busan. To unlock each country's full potential, Korea pledged $520 million in funding for 110 developing nations and more with smaller economies. Our commitment is unmatched in Expo history. Furthermore, we will create the 2030 Expo with you. We will provide exceptional service and convenience every step of the way, before, during, and after the Expo. La Corée appuie se développer grâce à l'aide de la communauté internationale et nous voulons vous rendre l'appareil. Nos engagements reflètent notre sincérité et nous tiendrons nos promesses avec vous et pour vous à l'exposition universelle 2030 de Busan. Je vous remercie. Thank you.
Once I found out where Korea was, because we didn't know. We were told we were going to a war in Korea, and everybody said, "Where's Korea?"
My grandfather served in Gangneung Division during the Korean War. My grandfather has talked about how devastated Korea was.
It was such a poor place. Everything was being ruined. Such a shame. There was desolation. But one thing that Korean people have is a kind of discipline. And if it's got to be done, it's done. Make Korea a place again, which they did. From nothing. Now we've grown beautiful houses and high-rise buildings. And Busan is extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. As the bus goes along their bow, because they can see written in Korean on the side who we are. And that was extraordinary.
I always think about my grandfather, who always mentioned about those things to be developed. And I think, even though he's not here, his dream about the country to be developed has come true. After coming to Korea, I've thought of my grandfather a lot. The country my grandfather has protected has remembered us, and it has always called us.
Korea has done such a wonderful thing in the past 70 years. I have great confidence they will do the same for anything they need to do in the future.
I also want to change the future of the world here in Korea. That's the dream of Korean people and my grandfather. I believe if we are all together, we can change the future.
Mr. Secretary General, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, bonjour, good afternoon. Let me begin by applauding you for your dedication to global progress and prosperity. Indeed, it is thanks to friends like you that Korea has emerged as a land of hope where our future generations dream big for tomorrow. Our duty is to give our youth the promise of a brighter future in a world without scarcity or conflict. In 2015, world leaders adopted two very important historic documents. One, Paris Climate Change Agreement, and the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We took out our first united steps to confront global challenges. But now, our fight against deepening climate crisis is critical, not only for us, but for our future generations. Distinguished delegates, Mesdames et messieurs, il n'y a pas de planète B. Il est donc impératif que nous agissions maintenant, car notre action d'aujourd'hui détermine la suivi de l'humanité demain. Nous devons transformer fondamentalement notre façon de vivre. World Expo 2030 Busan is not just an event. It is a transformative commitment to the synergy of nature, humans, technology, and our only planet Earth. And with SDG target year 2030 nearing, we must harness our strength. Korea will be your trusted partner. We will bridge the gap between the rich and the least developed nations. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, the future we want belongs to the young generations, and the World Expo 2030 Busan exactly aims to pave the way for the next generation. Busan is not just a destination, it's a strong starting point of a new journey into the future. Please join us. Let us work together to realize a sustainable and peaceful world for all. The choice is only one choice. Thank you very much for your strong support. Je vous remercie. 감사합니다.
Honorable members of the BIA, today you heard our commitments from the candidate host city, Korean companies, and government. But what do they mean for you and your country? Simply put, World Expo 2030 Busan will be your gateway to the Asian and global markets. Korea's hub status, with FTAs encompassing 85% of the global economy, makes Busan the ideal launchpad. Nations can showcase their technologies, products, and cultures freely in Asia, the world's largest and fastest growing market, and beyond. Expo 2030 Busan will be a platform for new business opportunities, particularly in high-tech industries. Korean companies, leaders in semiconductors, displays, renewable energy, and electric vehicles, stand ready to be your partners in growth. And finally, Expo 2030 Busan will be a meeting place to inspire future generations. Korea is already a favored destination among the young thanks to our dynamic and vibrant pop culture. In 2030, Busan will become the epicenter where the global youth converge, share ideas, and forge a stronger global community. Throughout this campaign, we have set out detailed plans and taken action to turn our commitments into reality. And you can be sure that we will bring the same can-do spirit and tenacity that propelled our own growth to the global community and World Expo 2030 Busan. Korea is a nation that keeps its promises, and we promise to deliver. An expo of solidarity, an expo for you in Busan. Thank you very much.
Your choice.
Your choice.
Your future.
Busan is ready.
Only one choice. Only one choice. Busan.
That was the Korean team giving their final presentation to bring the World Expo 2030 to Busan at the BIE in Paris. Mr. An, we heard the final presentation. The message was clear. Busan is ready to go. It's good to go. It's the city of culture and technology. It will provide an expo of solidarity. And there was pledges reaffirmed for ODA project. At the end, we heard Gangnam Style. What stood out to you?
Well, just a general comment, right? First one is that, well, I see that Ban Ki-moon and the Prime Minister also speaks some French, but I was expecting, Spanish as well. Big market, big chunk of the participants is Spanish speakers, right? So I was maybe could be much better. Someone and this rather than two French speakers, maybe one Spanish speaker one might be more diverse and might be more exciting. Also, I was expecting something surprise actually. Wow, perhaps the Kishida coming. Oh, it's about the Japan's open or something. Or I didn't expect the Biden come out to the tea commercial, right? But they're endorsing the Italy. But anyway, I was thinking that the clear message and a little bit same thing about is that to Korean. It's more like a diversity. You try to open up, right? We'll talk about Korean War. Yeah, that's the history, but it's more important how we go from it. And then if I go to Busan, and if Busan got selected for the hosting city, and I think that there is something I get something personally rather than the history, rather than what I can get from there in the present and the future, rather than we going back to the begging war, right? And also that a little bit just personal comment, it's not a national event, it's the local event, Busan. I was expecting something more Busan rather than Korea. The Korean War is all Korea, right? Something Busan. Well, I was thinking it maybe, traditional marketplace, something more unique, something unique in Busan might be more, interesting,
And the voting will take place in the coming hours. What's the voting process? Please give us a recap.
But since we have more than two candidates, and we're using the first one, we try to eliminate the list one. So basically, I would have the first one, we try to get any country had a supermajority, means that more than 2/3, right? 67% of the participating members, right? And then if there's no country achieve the supermajority, 2/3, 67%, and that will be that the country with the city with the least vote will be eliminated. Once again, we're hoping that's Italy, right? And then second round will be there, we applying the simple majority, that's the 51%. So that's so any country have the simple majority will be selected as the host country. So hoping that's the Korea, right?
Fingers crossed. All right, Mr. An Jun-sung, attorney at law, thank you for your time.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
And that wraps up our news special. Thank you for watching and have a great night.